Welcome to another episode of The Mineral Way, where we reveal the powerful health benefits of minerals. The information pharmaceutical companies don't want you to know. Take control of your health. There is a better way. The Mineral Way.
Oh yeah, we gotta switch it up right there. You're listening to The Mineral Way. Dave Michaels along with my good friend and pharmacist, Ben Fuchs. Perhaps the best pharmacist in all the world, Ben. That's what I'm going to call you from now on.
Why am I the best pharmacist?
I don't know. What's going on, Ben? Is there a bunch of people clapping or is there a fan going on in your background?
Oh, yeah, there's a bunch of people clapping. I have an audience here.
How are you doing, Ben?
Quiet, people.
How are you doing, sir?
Doing good. How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. I'm doing extremely well, Ben.
Better than our friend Joe Biden.
Oh man, poor Joe.
Yeah,
poor
it's
Joe.
terrible.
So what's going on with that? Should we open up with that, Ben?
Yeah, prostate cancer.
Yeah. So let's talk about
Progressive
that.
bone cancer.
Ay, ay, ay.
I know, not good. Not good at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got another call today from somebody who had prostate cancer.
Oh no.
Which pretty hideous form of cancer. It doesn't have to be, actually, but the one Joe Biden has is pretty aggressive. Listen, the prostate's a fatty gland. So what you want to think about for all prostate issues, not just cancer, but what they call BPH, benign prostatic hypertrophy, which basically means a enlarged prostate. You want to think about fats. You know, people don't realize the fats control the inflammatory system of the body. And so when you're ingesting distorted fats, which we all do, whether we like it or not, I mean, it's hard not to. Even bread has distorted fats in it. You're going to run risks of inflammation, particularly of fatty glands, the breasts and the prostate especially. And that's why breast cancer and prostate cancer are two of the more common cancers, basically because of the ingestion of the wrong kinds of fats. The best thing you could do for prostate cancer is, well, a couple things, and these are the same things we all have to do for everything, you know. When are you going to get sick of me repeating myself, Dave?
Oh, I don't, Ben.
It's crazy. I say the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, but you know what, Ben? I mean, that's people who think that, Ben, are not thinking the way. So I like to think of these as instruction recordings, you know, for people who want to enroll as a distributor. If you want to enroll as a distributor, we'll give you information on how to do that coming up. But if you do want to enroll as a distributor, the next thing you want to do is listen to shows like this. Listen to Pharmacist Ben. Listen to Dr. Wallach. It's repetition, Ben. Yeah. Repetition. Yeah. Next thing you know, it's logged into your brain.
That's
and then
true.
You can go out and help others. It helps people become more effective distributors. So no, I don't get tired of hearing it, Ben.
Yeah, repetition is reinforcement.
Yes.
Repetition is reinforcement. I feel silly sometimes, you know, saying, okay, take care of your digestion, make sure your intestine.
Yeah, you can't feel that way, Ben.
You can't think like that?
No, you can't.
All right, well, and then here's another thing.
Okay.
We want to isolate specific parts of the body, right? So you got let's take the prostate, for example. You got a prostate issue, you go to a urologist. You got a skin issue, you go to a dermatologist. You got a nerve issue, you got to go to a neurologist. You got a GI issue, you go to a GI doc. You got a cancer, you got to go to an oncologist, an allergy, and immunologist. We focus on these different parts of the body. We don't see the body as a system where everything is interconnected, and you can't isolate parts of the body and try to treat them unless you're going to drug them or surgically remove them or maybe electrocute them or ablate them. It's the only way to deal with parts of the body, and this is why the medical model resorts to surgical procedures and electrical procedures and cauterizing and pharmacologically drugging, because it's trying to treat individual components, and you can't do that. It's not how the body works. We can't see the forest for the trees. You understand that metaphor I'm using?
Uh-huh.
We have a bunch. We have a forest made up of a bunch of trees, and we're trying to treat each individual tree. It doesn't work that way because they're all connected. And so the cardiovascular system, the heart, if you have a heart disease, for example, is linked to the blood sugar system. It's linked to the digestive system. It's linked to inflammation in the blood. It's linked to a deterioration of the connective tissue. It's linked to a whole spectrum of health challenges that are about the whole body. But the good news is, is when you work on the system, everything falls into place. You can't treat the heart as an isolated structure. But if you treat the metabolic system, you'll treat the heart, and you'll treat the skin, and you'll treat the bones, and you'll treat the immune system, and you'll treat every other part of the body. When you treat the body as a system, all the parts benefit. When you try to treat one individual component, you'll fail unless you're just trying to mask the symptoms, and that's pretty much what the medical model does. It masks the symptoms. So we have to begin to see the body as a system. And this whole idea of systems is a very recent concept. Systems theory, there's actually a branch of information or physics even called systems theory. And this was developed by a guy named Claude Shannon in the 1940s. And our medical model is from the 15th century. It began in the late 1400s. So our medical model is 600 years old, and systems theory isn't even 100 years old. So, medical folks can be forgiven for not understanding how networks work and how systems work. But we as individuals will never come back to good health until we understand that the body operates not as individual organs, but as a system.
I like it. 831-479-1080 is the phone number. 218-5726 is the text line. And again, you can send questions at themineralway.com. You can interact there and let us know what you want to
You know what I would love, Dave?
What would you like, Ben?
I would love if we could get a physician on the phone or in the studio or somehow.
So we could yell at him?
No, so we could hear him defend himself.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Because I don't like preaching to the choir.
Uh-huh.
I know everybody out there, or not everybody, but a lot of people out there already agree with me. I want people who have somehow an alternative point of view, so I can show them how they're wrong. If everybody agrees, we can't really get anywhere. But what I want to do is I want to show people, particularly people who are bought into the medical model. Maybe there's even listeners out there who are bought into the medical model. I want to persuade them. I want to show them how there's a better way.
No, you don't.
I want to show them. I want to show them how there's a mineral way.
No, you don't.
No.
No, you want discourse or not, Ben? I mean, do you want to agree with everything, or do you
What's
want
that?
You want some pushback here, or do you want me to agree with everything?
No, pushback.
No, you don't. You want that?
I don't.
No.
Oh, you're funny. Oh, you.
Now you get it.
You're a
Jeez.
funny guy. Do you ever see that Monty Python with the argument store?
Oh, I love that.
I'm here for an argument.
So, Ben, I was listening to the radio the other day, and I heard this song, the neck bone's connected to the hip bone, the hip bone's connected to the thigh bone. And I thought, if your neck bone's connected to your hip bone, you got some problems.
No, probably not that. But yes, they're all connected. Everything's connected like a system. The whole body works as a system. And until we get it through our thick human skulls that the body is a system, and you can't isolate individual organs any more than you can isolate individual cells and be successful in healing the body, we're going to be stuck in this medical morass where we have more doctors per capita than any other culture in the history of mankind, and we're the sickest culture and the most obese culture, the most cancer-ridden and diabetes-ridden, and the statistics are so shocking. Do you know there's some 40% of Americans have 2 or more chronic degenerative disease. 40% of Americans over the age of 50 have 2 or more chronic degenerative diseases. Wow. I mean, come on, really? Well, we've accepted chronic degenerative disease as par for the course, and that's not how the body is supposed to work, because the body is a regenerating system, not a degenerating system.
All right, Ben, let's get out to the questions so we can start helping people, Ben.
Yes, sir.
That's what we like to do. It's in our blood, Ben.
I love it.
Yeah.
The joy that you get from helping somebody.
I tell you.
Right?
There's nothing like it,
Nothing
Ben.
like it. Nothing like it. And that's one. I have 7 things I'm grateful for. And I run down the list. And by the way, gratitude is a wonderful way to activate the relaxation nervous system, parasympathetic nervous system. And one of those things I'm grateful for is the opportunity I get to give back, because of the joy it brings me to give back for all the wonderful blessings that I've accrued.
I like it, Ben. That's a great attitude, dude. Let's head out to Australia and pick up Shane, who has a great attitude himself. Ben?
Australia?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hello,
Shane, you're in the air.
Yeah, good on you, Dave. Love you too, mate. And g'day, Ben.
Yes? Yes, sir. G'day.
It's quite amazing to talk to 2 Yanks on a Liberty ship. I think I'd never thought I'd envisage to be able to do that.
Did you say Liberty ship?
Aren't you on a Liberty ship?
What does that mean, Dave?
No, that we had an interview with some people who were in charge of restoring a Liberty ship during the.
Oh no, we're not on a Liberty ship. I'm not anyway.
Oh,
Dave might be.
Excuse my
No problem.
understanding. But Ben, I love your work too, mate. I love your perceptions on trying to create the human being to resonate at its proper angle.
Thank you.
But generally, yeah. Look, I look at behavioural science for many years, and I look at generational problems within the Australian community and your community, obviously. Now, what would you be doing? You'd probably be understanding of this with the huge electromagnetic devices that these young generations have got, and there's good evidence on that. But generally, if you've got a radiation level that's probably a bit too high for the young child, would you be going for more iodine, and is there any cofactors that you'd be working with?
Fats especially. Fats. Omega-3 fats particularly, and vitamin E, fats. Radiation especially affects fats and fatty tissue. So I would be going for fat protection. Antioxidants like vitamin E, selenium, maybe iodine, but fats, particularly omega-3 fats. Omega-3 fats are tremendously protective against radiation. And that's really one of their claims. Oops. One of their claims to fame.
Classic Pavlovian there. Yeah, and the other one is with the frequency, obviously disrupting the child's resonance, human resonance. Is there some things that can actually help with the cell's proper regulation? That you'd say?
From protection from EMF is what you're thinking?
Yeah, electromagnetic frequency.
Omega fats.
Totally.
Absolutely omega fats. Work in the cell membrane, and that's the fats. And omega fats for sure, omega-3 fats, I should say, but also vitamin E. And then to a certain extent, selenium. But vitamin E and omega-3 fats are probably the most important. I'm sure I'm missing something, but it's the fatty antioxidants that you're going to be looking for. As we talked about earlier, the fats are really where long-term health problems ensue, particularly from EMS. But you know what? We live in an electromagnetic, an EMF-saturated planet where we're all swimming in an ocean of electromagnetic frequencies that didn't exist 100 years ago, 120 years ago. So our bodies are not going to be able to adjust, and there's going to be an impact for that. And that includes, by the way, blue light. Somebody wrote to me about blue light today. That includes blue light, and there's no way to really avoid it except for focusing on what I call locus of control. And locus of control involves where you have control. So yes, all the things you're talking about here, EMFs and electromagnetic frequencies or electromagnetic disturbances of fats and membranes and cells, etc. You can't really do anything about that because there's going to be, automatic doors and bar scanners and CD players and computers and all kinds of electromagnetic generating devices that didn't exist 150 years ago. But what you can do is not eat French fries. And what you can do is not ingest distorted fats. And what you can do is not participate in fast food or ingesting the corporate swill, whatever that may be. And that's where we have locus of control. What you can do is not overwhelm your psychological body, your emotional body, your mental body with duress and lousy thoughts and all the garbage that's on the internet and on the news and all the fear that's being pumped out at us on a 24/7 basis. Not participate in that, and meditate and read good books and participate in quality information. There's places where we can work. Electromagnetic frequencies, what are you going to do? We're in it. We're swimming in an ocean of it. There's no way to avoid that, but you do have locus of control in other places, and that's where I say we should be focusing.
Yeah, love your advice too, mate. And my work is to just try to make a better information arena.
What do you do, Sean? What do you do, Shane?
Behavioural science. I look at generational social.
Well, what do you mean by are you a PhD? Or are you a researcher? What do you do with behavioural science?
No, I'm only a student of it. I would never claim to fame to being groomed within our foreign corporatised education system.
Fair enough.
I find that that's why we've got so many educated people, but we've got most serious effects on children's biology with this technology. I usually refer people to the good scientists like Professor Martin Pell, he's retired now, or Professor Leif Salford's work in regards to electromagnetic radiation. He had teams of scientists in Lund University for years, and they're very old, Ben, but they're still relevant because they're peer-reviewed and they're still focused on the real serious problems, even though the frequency now is at a range now that I'm very seriously concerned, and the majority of adults and people I talk to in the field, they see the same thing. I just did some field work through Queensland and New South Wales and Victoria. I took on my work because I'm looking at more behavioural cognitivity, and the radiation levels are off the charts.
Wow. Thank you for the call, Shane. We got to move on. We're kind of tight on
Good
time
on you,
here.
Dave.
Thank you for the call.
Shane. Thanks for the call.
831-479-1080. Wow, Ben, Australia. Can you imagine
I heard this guy from Australia saying one of the most important things you could do if you want to be psychologically healthy is not pay any attention to the kids. And the guy was saying, "What? You don't want to pay attention to the kids?" He says, "No, dickheads. He was saying,
I don't know what that means, Ben, but I'm going to leave that there. We're going to move on to the next question.
Dickheads.
Okay. Greg is calling from Campbell. You're in the air, Greg.
Hey,
Thank
Greg.
you for the call.
Yeah, hi there, guys. I'm happy I got 2 canisters of Tangy Tangerine.
Love it.
That Saturday morning. It's awesome. I like this stuff. I got my electrolytes tested, and usually they're not very good. And it was really good, and I really attribute it to that.
Yes, sir.
I talked to you. Also, I had stage 4 kidney. They told me the last couple of years, and I bet that had a good impact on that too, because it was normal.
Your kidney's normal?
Yeah, from stage 4 to
How do you like that? I want everybody out there listening. I've heard that before. I've heard people get off of dialysis once they got on some of these nutritional supplements. Doc has got a lot of people off dialysis. And the kidneys, you can do a lot with the kidneys, absolutely. And I want everybody who has kidney disease to listen to Greg, because kidney disease will kill you. It's an epidemic, and the doctors have no answers. But with nutritional supplementation and dietary strategies, you can reverse kidney disease. I've seen it many times. Thank you for sharing that, Greg. That's really cool.
Yeah, I don't take it. I mean, they would have me on 10, 12 pills if I ever let them, but I always refuse it, and I use the nutrition and supplements from Dave and stuff like that. But a question I want to ask you about hydrochloride and ivermectin. It's really being touted by these big celebrities and stars. For a long time now, last few years, it's really helped COVID patients. So everything now from COVID to cancer and other stuff, like ivermectin is kind of a big name out there. And I'm just wondering, what you thought about that, Ben?
I think people should be taking care of viral infections by working on what's called the terrain. We talked about the terrain, right, Dave?
Yes, I believe so.
I think you should work on the environment of the body. Ivermectin is a drug. I'm a pharmacist. I don't like drugs. If you need a drug, you should have the right to take a drug, and there should be no, knucklehead representative from the government that tells you what you can do and what you can't do. And so it should be available. But this idea of drugging yourself back to health, I find it problematic. I say, let's make the body or the terrain non-conducive to infection, to bacterial or viral infection. And that to me is the best way to handle it. And we've got plenty of space to improve the way we take care of our bodies and take care of our terrain. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. A healthy culture will never have a McDonald's in it. It'll never have a Chick-fil-A. It'll never have a Taco Bell. It'll never have a grocery store with one little aisle that's health food, and the rest of the grocery store is death and disease food. And until we get that kind of basic understanding that our food system is so corrupted and so adulterated and so manipulated by PhD scientists whose only goal is to get us to eat the swill, we're going to be suffering like this. So, ivermectin should be available, I believe. It's not the worst drug in the world. There's definitely worse drugs. But I don't like the idea of drugging ourselves back to health, with some exceptions. Like if you have a severe infection, of course, you need an antibiotic, that kind of thing. But to like say, I'm not going to worry about taking care of myself, and if I get sick, I'll take ivermectin. That's not the way it works. There are worse drugs than ivermectin, but a drug is a drug is a drug.
Thank you for the call, Greg. 831-479-1080. And I hate that we have to be short with some of these calls, but if you want to spend more time with us, you can always
Zoom call.
join the team. You
Where's
can
our Zoom
always
call?
join the team. We'll give you information on how you can do that coming up in just a few minutes. I've got 2 more calls here, Ben. We're going to do that, and then we'll let people know how they can join the team. So let's see what Joe in Santa Cruz has to say. You're in the air, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah, I got 2 questions real quick. Creatine. I saw some TV program, and this person, I guess, is knowledgeable. I don't know if they're a medical researcher, and they said there's studies out that creatine will help brain health. What do you think?
Heck yeah. Creatine's awesome stuff. Yeah, I've been taking creatine since my bodybuilding days in my 20s, and that's where back then, creatine.
So
go ahead.
So you recommend creatine. You have nothing against creatine.
No.
Okay. In the longevity products, I was just curious,
creatine.
or maybe this is for Dave. Is there any creatine that you know of?
I don't know any, Dave. Dave?
Okay.
I don't know of any. No.
Okay.
It's
and
readily
the
available.
Other quick question is, excuse me?
It's readily available, creatine. It's cheap.
Yeah. Okay. And the other quick question is, if I take more than recommended dosage of like tangerine or that other powdered stuff, is there any possibility if I take way too much that I get the kidney stones or gallstones?
No. You're not going to get kidney stones and gallstones from supplements, but you will maybe bloat or get gassy or some diarrhea if you take too much all at once.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you. Dave, have you been reading about creatine?
Huh?
Have you been reading about creatine?
No, I have not, Ben.
You know it, you've heard of it, I'm sure. Creatine?
No.
Creatine's a bodybuilding supplement. When it first became, funny how it first became popularized, it actually became popularized in Colorado by a guy named Bill Phillips, and he gave some to this was the late 1990s, and Bill Phillips was a local bodybuilder, and he actually started a company based on creatine, and he started giving it to the Broncos, the Denver Broncos football team, and they started winning Super Bowls. And they would wear, after the Super Bowls, they'd wear his hats. EAS was the name of his company, and they'd wear EAS hats. And it popularized creatine and became all the rage back in the late 1990s, early 2000s. And I remember I was selling it. I would buy 50-pound bags of it and then package it up into 8-ounce plastic bags. And I went to all the gyms and I would sell creatine. That stuff is awesome. I've been taking it since then myself, pretty much on a daily basis. Not just for bodybuilding, though. It's great for building muscle, helping you build, not for building muscle, but for making you stronger so you can build muscle. But it's also a wonderful buffer for folks who are under stress or producing lots of acid, either from some kind of inflammatory condition or from working out or any kind of stressors. It's also great for your skin. It's got sun protective properties. And lately, and by lately I mean over the last few months, you've been reading, if you read the health news, you're reading about how it's important for brain health, as this gentleman was talking about, and for neurology. But pretty much a creatine is good for every single system in the body. It's a very fundamental molecule, almost completely I think it is pretty much non-toxic, and especially important for older folks. Now, it works best if you take it as an ergogenic, which means post-exercise or post-training, but you'll get benefits just by taking a teaspoonful or so on a daily basis, just as a supplement. It's an awesome non-toxic nutritional aid. It's not an essential supplement, but it is. You can consider it to be a nutritional supplement, although it's not essential.
Wow. Thank you for the call, Joe. 831-479-1080. Rory is up next before we take a break.
Rory. What's up, Rory?
Hey.
How's it going?
Thomas, it's Ben, and Dave, thank you for taking my call.
Yeah.
As I've told you before, Ben, never dumb it down. Keep it going.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
It's so good. I had an MD friend one time tell me, this was about 10 years ago, he said, after talking with him a little bit, he goes, well, if all my patients were like you, I'd be out of business.
I'd be out of business. That's great.
Cool. Yeah.
That's
all
great.
Right. So as MD says, the prostrate...
prostrate?
Yeah. Prostrate FX.
The prostrate FX.
Anyway, yeah. It's all in the news. So I come from generations of people that never had this digital exam that bumps up the PSA number, right? Post-exam, they go, oh, let's take a sample. And if that wasn't embarrassing enough, let's do this over here. And, oh, my gosh, your numbers are to the moon. You need to have your
PSA numbers?
Yeah. But digital
PSA's...
exam, where the hell did that come from, Ben? I mean, I have ancestors that lived in their late 80s, late 90s, over 100, some of them. No issues with their prostate.
Yeah.
They died happy men. What the heck?
Yeah, and a lot of guys die and they find that they had prostate disease after they died and they didn't even know it. So, seriously, they want to medicalize everything. They're drumming up business. Medicine, I don't know if you know anything about social media marketing, but in a lot of ways, medicine is like a big old sales funnel where they get you in the top of the funnel with fear and, testing and screening, and they pull you down into the funnel, and then you're there. You're stuck in there, and then you're drugged and you're carved up.
And they hit you with ads at the top of the hour.
Oh, my God, the ads.
There's so many measles outbreaks. And
oh, my God, the ads.
I know of a person. I know of a lot of people have been on psych meds. It was criminal.
Yeah, the psych meds are really the worst. I've worked in psychiatric institutes as a pharmacist, and I'm telling you, they have no idea what's going on with the psych meds. But it's interesting what you mentioned about the commercials, because while the commercials are insidious and as my Gen Alpha friend says, skibbity brain rot. Have you ever heard that term? Skibbity brain rot?
No.
Isn't that cool? Skibbity brain rot. They're just mind-numbingly stupid, these commercials with the little cartoons and, and the people bungee jumping and forging rivers in a kayak and all this stuff. But really the most insidious part about the drug advertising, and only the United States and New Zealand are the only two countries in the world, I believe, that allow drug advertising. The most insidious part about the drug advertising is when they advertise on the news, guess what happens to the news, right? They're sponsoring the news. So, of course, you're going to get their pitch on the news, and we believe the news. And so, really, drug advertising doesn't serve anybody but the drug companies. It does not serve people. It does not serve health. It serves marketing purposes, and it drums up business for the drug companies. And there's no real need for drug advertising on TV.
Thank you for the call, Rory. We have to take a break. Keep it tuned in. The Mineral Way will be right back. Coming up, we're going to tell you how you can enroll as a distributor, join the team, or just even order the products that you hear Ben and I talk about. That's coming up. Keep it tuned in. The Mineral Way will be right back.
What if improving your health could also improve your income? At themineralway.com, you can launch your own home-based business, something real, flexible, and proven. When you enroll, you're not just getting amazing health products. You're starting a business you can run from your computer, smartphone, or even your landline. And yes, that means you can finally take advantage of the tax deductions available to business owners. That's right, your health, your income, and your taxes can all start working for you. You'll get your own personalized website, access to exclusive training materials, and private conference and video calls with health expert Ben Fuchs, a pharmacist who's helped thousands transform their lives with his no-nonsense approach to nutrition. There's no inventory to keep, no high-pressure sales tactics, just powerful products, a clear path, and the tools you need to succeed. Work part-time, full-time, or just in between. You set the schedule. You decide how far you want to take it, and you won't be doing this alone. At themineralway.com, we give you the education, support, and encouragement to build something that matters to you and the people you help. So if you're ready to feel better, earn better, and live better, go to themineralway.com right now or call 831-218-5726. That's themineralway.com or 831-218-5726. Better health, smarter income, the Mineral Way to a better life.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone.
Done.
By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
looks like we have a couple of comedians out there, Ben. I have 2 questions. You can tell me if you want to answer these or not.
Sarcasm.
I don't know, Ben. It says, is it true that the jawbone affects the skull bone or only when whispering secrets to a loaf of rye bread?
I'm not quite understanding that. Are you?
No, I'm not, Ben.
What's the second funny guy?
Oh, jeez.
What's the second funny person?
It's the same guy. Could stiffness in the spine be caused by poor posture, or did I just absorb too many moonbeams through my cereal slot?
Those both went over my head. I don't know.
What a dumb question.
We got serious things. We got serious work
I
here.
know, Ben. I'm going to yell at this guy. Hold on.
Is this a friend of yours?
Yeah, probably not anymore. I'm going to tell him. I'm going to give him peace of
Former
mind.
friend.
Let's see what Anthony has to say. Anthony, you better be good.
What's up, Anthony?
Oh, hey, Ben. So, Ben, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Because, behind everything, right? Behind, going to the gym and behind, being a runner, like a jogger, there's passion, right?
Yeah.
There's passion, right? To eat right, right?
Okay.
So I was wondering, what kind of advice would you give, to those who kind of lack that passion? You know what I mean?
I love that. I love it. Let me tell you, that's one of my favorite words, passion. Dave and Anthony, both of you guys. What do you think the opposite from a word perspective, the science of words is etymology, right? That's the science of words, or how words are constructed. So what do you think from an etymological point of view, what is the opposite of passion?
Couch potato.
Nope. You'll never guess. I mean, if you think about it, you'll guess, but...
Sloth.
No. Etymologically, the opposite of passion is action. You ready for this? Well, you say, what the heck? What does that mean, right? So passion, P-A-S-S, comes from the root word passive, right? The opposite of passive is active. So passive and active, passion and action, right? So etymologically, you can see how action is the opposite of passion. So what does this really mean? See, when you're passionate about something, and I can tell you, I'm passionate about health, nutrition, chemistry, the skin. I got a lot of things I'm passionate about. And so when you're passionate about something, the thing that you're passionate about is pulling you. You have no control. You're not acting on it. You're being acted by. It's acting on you. You're passive. You're a mere. You're being pulled by that which you love. You're out of control. You don't have any action. You're not volitional. It's pulling you. And in order to be passionate,
so you're not thinking. Yeah. So you're
in
not
order
thinking
to be
about
passionate,
it.
You have to you have to give something up. You have to really be dedicated because you're letting go. The word, it's like the passion of the Christ. You ever hear the term the passion of the Christ?
Oh, yeah.
The word passion and patience come from the same place. You know what patient means? You ready for this?
Yes,
a patient, one who suffers. And so passion and patience all come from the same place. This idea that you are not active, that which you're passionate about is pulling you. Something is affecting you, you're not affecting it. And not everybody wants to be in that place, and that's why not everybody's passionate. When you're really passionate about God or your husband or your wife or your family or your kids, you're very vulnerable because that which you're passionate about has control over you, and most people don't want to go there. But we find passion, very compelling. We like it when people are passionate. We can vicariously live through them when they're passionate. And for the person who is passionate, it's the most beautiful feeling there is to really love something so much that you can't wait to read about it or study about it or interact with it somehow. And I encourage everybody, find something like that in your life that you're passionate about and run the risk of being vulnerable to that which you're passionate about. It's a beautiful way to live your life. And I would present, Anthony, that a lot of our health challenges, mental health challenges in this country are because we don't have things that we're passionate about.
Right. And, I wanted to share something with Dave. When I was younger, I actually, because I've always been thin, you know what I mean? So, to kind of gain some muscle in my garage, I put a picture of Pamela Anderson in her bathing suit. Yeah. And I would just work out, man.
That's
I would
awesome.
just work out,
Awesome.
looking at her. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so that was
like
my
that.
motivation.
That's
So that was
good.
my motivation to
That's good.
to get
You know what
healthy.
else? You know what you could do? This is what I tell people to do. put up a picture of your big fat lard ass when you're working out.
Jeez, Ben.
And then that's a good motivator. You know,
Wow. You guys are weird. Thank you for the call.
I didn't mean yours, Anthony, by the way. I didn't mean yours, Dave.
Yeah,
I'm talking about
well,
your... All right.
I hang up posters of banana slugs, Ben. Those inspire me to really go out
Are
there
you passionate
and
about
be
your
different.
banana slugs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Remind me to
passionate.
tell you my slug story sometime. I don't want to tell
It's
you
not like
now,
your
but-
cat story, is it? Because that's horrible, Ben.
Which
don't
cat
ever,
story?
Oh, don't tell me the studying their brains and all that, Ben.
Oh, that story.
Oh,
Okay.
don't
I won't
ever,
tell you.
ever
I
tell me
won't
that
say that
story
anymore.
again.
No, I won't say
Jeez,
that.
what
No,
a guy.
I love kitties. They got tiny brains, though. They are stupid animals.
831 Ben.
No, I don't mean they're stupid. They operate on a different level of intelligence. Instinctive. They're instinctive. But they do have very tiny brains, like the size of an almond.
831-479-1080, 218-5726, KSEODave@gmail.com. Questions can also be submitted at themineralway.com. You can catch an archive of all of our shows there, Ben. I think we're up to like show number 16 or 17.
Are you serious?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
What are we going to do with those?
I don't know. Well, right now they're being posted on YouTube. They're up
On
there
YouTube? What's the channel? Is there a Mineral Way channel?
Yes, the Mineral Way.
I'm going to it right now.
Oh.
Are people complaining?
No, they're not. Who could complain about that, Ben?
I don't know.
No, we're
I
just
get
trying to
complaints.
spread happiness and healthiness. You know, we're trying to do the right
I
thing.
think I'm
here.
doing the Lord's work, but you would
Yes.
believe. So after I go on Coast to Coast, you ever read Reddit?
Yes.
After I go on Coast to Coast, you wouldn't believe the things they say about me on Reddit.
No way.
Yes,
It's all
it's
good
terrible.
things or all bad things?
It's a terrible thing.
Wow, man.
I know.
Well, those
Hurt my
guys are a
feelings.
bunch of cotton-headed ninny muggins.
Yeah,
man.
nah,
Don't
really
pay
care too much
attention
about
to
it.
that.
That's the risk you run when you're in the public eye.
Yeah. Did you hear they're going to do a movie about Art Bell?
I did hear that.
Yeah.
Where did I
that's-
hear that?
I don't know, but that's going to be awesome.
I did hear that. Yeah. It's
gonna be weird.
Yeah, that is going to be awesome.
Yeah. 831-479-1080. Ben, let's head out to the phone force and see what we have next. I did not get a name, but this caller ends in 7-4. Can we get your first name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, my name's Rain, and I live down the street, and you guys are the bomb. I think Ben Fuchs is the Andy Weil of pharmacology, because Andy Weil, I met him in New York, right? Andrew Weil, and he talked about how he said, I studied digitalis and all that, and he said, no, foxglove, and he went the way of the herbal way. And he was like a round teddy bear, and I said, thank you for being the father of alternative medicine. And Ben, I think you are the father of natural pharmacology, and you're very
appreciate
smart,
that.
very wise, and I love hearing you talk about all your knowledge and sharing it.
Oh,
Very
thank you,
good.
Ray.
And guess what? The word hospitality,
Yeah.
I think people like to go to hospitals because they get love through drugs.
Oh my God,
Or,
you're so right, Rain.
hospitality, it's the
Yeah, that's so
hospitality,
interesting. You said that. When I used to work in hospitals, I noticed that there was a personality type that would go to the hospital over and over and over again, and they were, and the system, the hospital system, the medical system, fed off of them. They made money off of them, and the reason they went, as Rain really very very insightful, Rain. The reason they went is because they got love. Because the nurses are so beautiful and loving and kind and good. They're like saints. And even the doctors
They
are.
call you by your first name. They say, hi, how you doing? I had
They
a
give you
mother-
love. They touch you.
I had a stepmother that she just loved. She would even go get scopes down her throat, as painful as they were.
Yeah.
But they would say, hi, Rudy, I haven't seen you in a long time.
Yeah.
Like it was TLC, because your family's not coming around, because you're pain to be with. You're like always something wrong with you.
Yeah. But they go to the hospital. They get love for that. They get rewarded.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
You know,
I
you're
just
so
get-
right. That's a great insight, Rain. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for the call, Rain. 831-479-1080. I tell you what, Ben, I don't care how hot that nurse is. I don't care if she looks like Pamela Anderson.
You're not getting
Nobody
scoped?
touches my toes. I don't
Your
care.
toes?
Oh, no
Would
way.
you rather
dude.
have somebody
I'll
touch your
start
toes or have
throwing
a catheter
kicks.
stuck up your,
Well, when you put it that way, Ben.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez.
You know,
831.
even a prostate or a colonoscopy. Would you rather have them touch your toes or stick something up your butt?
Well,
all right.
When you put it that way, Ben.
Yeah, then,
jeez.
the toes aren't so bad.
All right, I guess. Here's a text message, Ben. 218-5726 is the text line. A lot of people don't understand how the text line works. Well, you just you call that number 831-218-5726, and just speak clearly and slowly into the phone, and it will translate it into text. Now, there's a few typos on here, but basically it appears to be a woman asking about her bone thinning. She went to the doctor. Doctor said that she's dealing with bone thinning issues. What should she do, Ben?
Well, I often say this, and I probably said it to you, but I'll say it again. There's only, we have thousands of different diagnoses in this country, right? Something like 5,000 different ways the body can break down based on diagnostics. But there's really only one disease in terms of chronic degenerative disease. There's really only one disease. You know what it is? It's called MBFA disease. Did I ever tell you what that is?
No.
MBFA is the only chronic degenerative disease there is, and all the other diagnoses of chronic degenerative diseases are just versions of MBFA. MBFA disease is my body is falling apart disease. Oh. And I made it up. I came up with the name. Okay?
All right.
Because I kept seeing it. The body just breaks down. It just degenerates. It dissolves based on acid, based on low pH, low pH, low nutritional status, lack of oxygen, toxicity, sugar, and not to mention the spiritual, mental, and emotional ways that we tox out our bodies. It just breaks down. And we want to medicalize it. Not we as people, but the culture wants to medicalize it. And so her bones are dissolving. That's just part of degeneration, MBFA. So there's no toy, as I said earlier, there's no way to target the bone. If you're going to try and target the bone as an isolated system away from everything else, you're going to destroy the bone or you're going to destroy the health. And that's what bisphosphonates do. They're among the nastiest drugs you can take because, and they don't build bone. There's no way to target the bone, but what you can do is you can work on the system. Most importantly, as always, I know I say it all the time, but it's really true, the digestive system, the intestine, for two reasons. Number one, once you get openings in the intestinal lining, toxicity enters into the bloodstream, inflammation ensues, and you're off to the disease races. And then to compound the problem, when the intestinal lining is inflamed to the point where it's allowing stuff to get into the bloodstream, i.e. leaky gut, you also become malabsorptive. You don't absorb your nutrients. So you get this 1-2 punch of lack of nutrition plus toxicity in the bloodstream. There's no way that's not going to have a degenerative impact. So first things first, patch up a leaky gut. Now, let me tell you some longevity products to do that because we talk about leaky gut a lot, but I think it's important that you hear some real hands-on strategies or solutions that you can use to address the problem. Number one, avoid foods that cause digestive distress. Gluten gets all the press. It's a problem, but there's many more foods. You can have intestinal disturbing foods in avocados and in oranges and in all kinds of things that you think are good foods. So you got to be careful. I'm not saying always avocados and oranges, but there's foods that are supposedly good foods that can have a negative effect on either the intestinal lining or the histamine, which is a chemical that whacks out the circulatory system, to put it simply. So work on intestinal health. I say A, avoid problem foods. B, use your nightly essence from Longevity. C, use your ultimate enzymes from Longevity. Get on the daily digest. You can use Dr. Ari Oz's liver cleanse, and then strengthening the intestine with Fucoid Z. We got to do a show on Fucoid, by the way.
For sure.
It's just amazing stuff, but it helps with the mucus lining on the intestine, and then building the connective tissue with collagen peptides and with the healthy bone and joint pack, both of which have a connective tissue building, benefits. Your ultimate EFAs are anti-inflammatories for the intestine. There's a really cool molecule that you can get as a supplement, not from Longevity, but you can get it as a supplement called butyrate, Butyrate. Or you can just support gut bacteria with prebiotics, your ultimate microbiome, probiotics, your nightly essence, and then your bacteria will make the postbiotic, which is the butyric acid or the butyrate.
831-479-1080. Let's move on to another phone call, Ben.
Yes, sir.
And this one ends in, it's Maria calling on a cell phone. You are in the air, Maria.
Hi, thank you both. I have a grandson, 16-year-old grandson, and he lives in a rural area out of state, and he's been doing a lot of weightlifting and protein shakes for the last year. I haven't seen him in about 10 months, but he just injured his rotator cuff. So
How old?
what can you, Dr. Ben, advise or
let me give you some
provide guidance for him? Maybe magazines, YouTube. I mean,
oh yeah,
he's
yeah.
doing
Did
it
you
on
say?
his own.
Did you? I'm sorry. Did you say 15 or 16? How old is he?
16.
16. Okay. And then you're saying that he tore his rotator cuff?
Yeah. Because
here's the thing about weightlifting. It ain't easy. And a lot of times we don't know what the heck we're doing. We just go in there and lift weights. Usually kids don't have a problem, but especially when you get older, there's a problem. But even kids can have a problem if you don't do it just right. And I've been weightlifting since I was 18 years old. So 40 plus years, 45 plus years I've been weightlifting. And let me tell you something. I have a personal trainer because I know that if I start bench pressing, for example, and I have my shoulders or my elbows not in the exact right position, that I'm going to throw something out. I'm going to hurt really bad. And I won't be able to work out. Now, I've never torn anything, but that can definitely happen. Get them on the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack, number one. Have them avoid all processed foods, especially inflammatory foods, especially processed fats, and then also sugar is a big problem. Of course, easier said than done, but I'm giving you an ideal protocol. I don't expect a 15-year-old kid to be doing all these, but this is what you'd want to do. And then bone broth, chicken broth, with the bones, incredibly healing for the connective tissue and the muscle tissue. If you tear something, bone broth is one of the most important foods you could ever do pre-surgery and post-surgery. And if a hospital was intelligent, they would be giving everybody homemade bone broth in their hospital bed, in their hospital rooms. Everybody. Because bone broth is unbelievably healing and anti-inflammatory for anything that ails you. For the immune system, for the connective tissue system, for autoimmune diseases, for aging or slowing down the aging process, for healing. It's just crazy how healthy bone broth is. But I'm talking about real bone broth made with bones. Because when you make, and especially cartilage on bones, not just the bones, but the cartilage on bones, because when you steep or boil or simmer over a long period of time, this cartilage material, the stuff that's released into the water is like divine. And the marrow in the bones is also divine. It's like concentrated godly goodness in the bones and the marrow and in the cartilage. And I apologize for the vegetarians and vegans out there because I know it's troubling, but you ain't going to get anything remotely like that in cauliflower or broccoli or soy. And that's what everybody points to is soy and Brazil nuts and pea protein and such. But there's no way on God's green earth you're going to get the kind of nutritional value that you get from bones and bone broth and cartilage. Yes.
Bone broth recipes.
You take a chicken. I'll tell you mine. You go to Whole Foods and get organic chicken, and you definitely want it organic because when you're steeping the chicken in the water, the hormones and antibiotics and all the other stuff's going to come out in the water, and you'll have poison water instead of healthy, or poison soup instead of healthy soup. So you want an organic chicken. If it's already cooked, that speeds up the process. You take the organic chicken, you break it up into some pieces, chuck it into a big old pot of water, and throw in your onions and your turnips and your carrots and some celery and potatoes and spices and a little bit of apple cider vinegar. You want it to the liquid to be acidic to help dissolve the cartilage, and you just let it simmer. And it boils down, and you add water, and you let it simmer again. And it boils down. You can do it for as long as you want. You can do it for 24 hours if you want. You can also use a slow cooker. If you have a slow cooker, you can do that. That helps sometimes, or that makes it easier sometimes. But it's very simple to do. Anybody can do it.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you. Bet.
Appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you.
Thank you for the call, Maria. 831-479-1080-218-5726.
I can't find the Mineral Way here, Dave.
You can't? On
No.
YouTube?
I'm on YouTube.
Just type in Mineral Way Channel.
Mineral Way.
Yeah, it should pop right up, yeah. Mineral Way Channel. Unless I'm lying to you, Ben.
Maybe you're lying. I don't know. Maybe
Channel.
you're trying to make me
How do
look
you spell
silly.
channel?
Mineral Way Channel. Yeah, I don't see it.
Yeah, it's right there, Ben. I see it. It says subscribe. And it says
the Mineral Way. Oh, you have other things on there.
Well, yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
I see.
there's 16 episodes.
Where's our shows?
Right there. I'm looking at them right now, Ben. Episode 16, Gut Feelings and Sweet Deceptions. Episode 15, From Bacon Fat to Fucoid Z. Episode 14, Clearing the Way, Chelation, Cleansing and Circulation. Episode 9, Low Blood Sugar, and it goes on and on.
Except there's mistakes on here.
Where?
Well, it says 6 subscribers. That can't be right.
Oh, that can't be right, Ben.
They must mean 6 million subscribers.
Right.
They forgot some zeros.
Well, we're working on that, Ben. Okay. So before we get out of here, Ben, I just want to remind people that you can become a distributor, and I thought I would do it with this poem that I wrote.
Okay.
Ben?
Yes. I love poetry, yes.
Okay. Join the team. It's time to grow. Share the health and earn some dough. Work from home or on the go. Help your friends feel less so-so. You'll get support and tools to learn. With every sale, more cash you earn. The future's bright, so take your turn. Banana shouldn't be trusted with secrets.
What? Okay. I don't know about that, but that was really cool.
You think so, Ben? That was pretty good,
but
huh?
I think all it needs is a little music.
Into a rap song, yeah.
Yeah, some music.
Yeah.
Why don't you just come up with a music bed and we can sing that together next week, next Monday.
All right, Ben. You know what, Ben? I think it's the heat, dude. It's making me goofy. It's hotter than an otter out here in.
Is it hot out
there?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. What's it like over there in Boulder?
Oh, it's so darn beautiful.
Is it hot?
No, it's like 70 degrees and cool and beautiful and.
Oh, I see around here that counts as hot. 70 degrees is kind of like
70 counts as hot.
Well, anything 75 is.
It's gorgeous here. Oh my God.
All right, Ben, rub it in.
Thank you, Dave Michaels. Good to talk to you, and bye Santa Cruz next Monday, buddy.
The Mineral Way. Be sure to check it out, themineralway.com. See you later, Ben.
Bye.
Again, if you want to become a distributor or just buy your products as a preferred customer or anything else, be sure to check out themineralway.com. You can work with pharmacist Ben Fuchs and myself. Themineralway.com. Be sure to check that out tonight. Oh, yeah, and go to YouTube and subscribe and like us. Or else. Looking for a better way to take charge of your health and maybe even your income? Then listen up, because themineralway.com is your one-stop destination for world-class longevity products and a powerful business opportunity. At themineralway.com, you can order the same high-quality supplements featured on the Mineral Way podcast, trusted by thousands and shipped to customers across the U.S. and other countries around the world. And these aren't just any products. They're designed to support energy, clarity, mobility, all the things that help you live better, feel better, and stay active no matter your age. But here's where it gets really exciting. You can also become a distributor. When you enroll through themineralway.com, your sponsors, also known as your upline, are none other than pharmacist Ben Fuchs and me, Dave Michaels. That means you're not on your own. You'll get expert training, a full library of support materials, and your very own professional website all ready to go. You can run your entire business from your home computer, smartphone, or landline. No employees, no building to rent, no overhead, just you helping others, building a business, and creating a future. And if you're the kind of person who listens to the show, you already get it. You care about your health, you care about people. That makes you the perfect candidate to start your own business. Imagine setting your own hours, working with a team that wants to see you succeed, and waking up each day knowing that you're making a difference for yourself and for others. Plus, you can go at your own pace. Whether you want to earn a little extra on the side or go full-time, you're in control. No pressure, just real support and real opportunity. And here's the kicker. It's your business. You can pass it on to a family member or even sell it down the road. So whether you're looking to improve your health, build something meaningful, or add new income stream, it's all waiting for you. There is a better way. Themineralway.com. That's themineralway.com. Check it out today.
Want better health and a better income? At themineralway.com, you can start your own home-based business. No inventory, no pressure. Just powerful health products, real support, and a business you can run from your computer, smartphone, or landline. When you enroll, you'll get your own personal website, access to exclusive training materials, and private video calls with health expert Ben Fuchs. This is a real business with real benefits, including the ability to take advantage of tax deductions available to business owners. Whether you're looking for part-time income or a whole new direction, this is your chance to feel better and earn smarter. Visit themineralway.com or call 831-218-5726. That's themineralway.com or 831-218-5726. Your health, your business, the Mineral Way to a better life.